What's up? Welcome back, guys. I'm Mike. This is Cage Cast. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Let's go ahead and talk about the fights. How'd you guys do against with Gilbert Burns versus Morales? Was that entertaining for you guys? Um, I saw this going a different way. If you guys were paying attention to last week, I was talking it up. Gilbert Burns was going to get this done. 2025. Morales is undefeated. He's going to lose his O. And you know what happened? The complete opposite. Yeah, guys, usually those $5 fight night bets, I did 15 on Gilbert Burns. I thought I was that confident. 2025, we're going to get this done. We're going to make this O disappear. Gilbert Burns was due for it. However, it just didn't turn out the way I thought. Gilbert Burns looked like he didn't even want to be there, guys. Do you guys agree with that? Let me know in the comments. Did you see this going exactly how it did? Did you think Morales was just going to steamroll Gilbert Burns like that? Let me know, because it leads me to more questions in this whole division. Gilbert Burns was the one guy that made Chimaev first one to chink the armor and make him look like a normal guy, took him the distance, showed that his cardio wasn't as on point because he wasn't going those late rounds, probably wasn't practicing all that much for those late rounds. And then Gilbert Burns comes into this fight, due for one, and Morales just pieces him up, eats a couple good shots from Gilbert, and then just pummels him, crumples him up like he can, and discards him. Has me wondering, can Morales do that to anybody else? Can he fold up Chimaev? How would that even unfold? Would that be a good test for Morales? Who would you guys like to see Morales go against next? He looked fresh still at the end of the fight. Didn't take any damage. He can definitely fight again before the end of the year. Let's put him up against a really good test because I want that. Oh, it's 2025. Why'd you gotta do me like that, Morales? All right, guys, get in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. And you know what? We don't have any fights next week. We do have another fight night before we get to 316. We got Blanchfield versus Barber, guys. Have you guys looked into this one? Because when I just see this right here on paper, stats are almost the same. They're almost the same age, almost the same reach, almost the same height, except for some reason, I'm just leaning towards Blanchfield. I don't know. It's because if Blanchfield, beat Rose, and I hold Rose to a high regard, and maybe only because her last loss was to the title challenger that we just saw in Man and Farrat. So I don't know. To me, I feel like Blanchfield's on a tear and she can continue it. But Barber's also, they're so close in stats. It could be a coin flip. However, I did look this up on the betting odds and was taking a look because early on, just like I said, looking at it on paper, I think Blanchfield. And you know what? The betting odds are riding right there with me. However, I've seen some ludicrous betting odds lately from DraftKings, so they have been calling them wrong. Now, however, I think we're in agreement here. My early on says Blanchfield, but we're going to have to hold off. I'm going to get with Jason, our old Whitey, here tomorrow, and we'll go over it and argue about it. But I think, we got a whole week before we get there. So I don't want to lock in too early because the betting odds could change. But again, early on, Blanchfield. What do you guys think about that? You guys agree? You guys agree with those betting odds? 2-1 favorite over Barber. Well, that leads us into a little hiatus. So why don't we just give a quick rundown on UFC 316? Give you guys my early predictions just real quick here before we jump off. Sounds like the dogs are going crazy in the background. But we got Patchy coming over from the PFL Bellator leagues, making his debut against Bautista since Cheeto Varick jumped out. An impressive 20 wins, 1 loss. But it is the B League, and Bautista's on a tear. So early on, I'm still leaning towards Bautista. But I'm interested to see what Patchy can do because I'm not too familiar with this full repertoire. Now, Pfeiffer, Gastelum, finally getting that one, guys. Still leaning early on towards Gastelum. They've had a lot more time to prepare. Joe can get it done as well, but I think Gastelum, He's going to make his last run, and I think he definitely gets to Joe first. You guys definitely know how I'm leaning on this one. Kayla Harrison runs over Pena, and then we get the Lioness back in there for something competitive and awesome. So that's how I'm leaning early on that one, guys. And then I think Marab just does what he's been doing. I don't see anything different. Sean O'Malley would have to catch him with something spectacular, catch him off guard, catch him with something like a good counter. I think Marab's going to be ready for that. He's expecting that. Just going to get down and tackle him, pose, get the captain's look going on. And I think that's how we're going to go with that quick pick. Now, we got definitely weeks away from this, so 3 weeks out, so my mind could change, but it's definitely not going to change on the Pena Harrison. So, all right, guys, get in the comments. Let me know. Those horrible picks, did you think it's going to go the same way? Do you guys think Batchy's going to come in here and make a run towards the title? Is he that good, guys? I don't know much about him. I'll do a little research, and then when we get on some fight talk, we'll learn more about it. If you made it this far, please subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell. Give me some thumbs up on the videos, guys. Let's help grow. Once I get to 100, we'll start doing these live with the guys. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.